We are almost certainly going to lose this game, but that's fine. Sometimes you lose at Hearthstone. We had a horrible start, and our opponent had not a good start, but a reasonable start. We're playing with Pirates, Pirate Warrior, the only kind of pirate that's actually good in my opinion. But we're not going to win this game, and that's okay. So we are currently rank 1. I guess you can see it kind of on the side of the screen, far left. All right, so we actually have a play now. So we can play this thing, attack this thing, and kill it. That's probably what we want to do. Alternatively, we could play this guy, but that doesn't really do much. Play this guy, attack him. So why don't we just play this, kill his thing, say go. One problem with this play is that next turn we're not going to be able to play the Reaper, but that's okay because we have this guy and this guy next turn. And that'll hopefully slow down whatever our opponent has going on. And our opponent's out of stuff, notice. But it looks like he's about to make this guy into a 10 power creature, and that might just be enough to kill me. So, like I said, we're going to have a tough time winning this game. It's dark in here because James is sleeping over there. All right, so he killed our guy. We're at 7, right? So we are pretty screwed. We could play this thing, though, and kill his guy. You know, that's actually not so bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we can't do that. 1, 2, 3, because if we attack this thing, it kills me. We can put this guy right in the way, though, so that's going to be good. So why don't we play this? Let's think about this. We want to play this thing. Of course, we're going to coin out this. Of course, we're going to attack our opponent. Now, do we want to attack this? I don't think we do. I think we just attack our opponent with both guys, and then next turn see what develops. If he just our opponent's deck now is just a lot of garbage. A lot of the cards on the, whatever this thing's called, the rogue deck require combos. And our opponent has no combos. So with no combos, our opponent's actually in pretty crappy shape. So now we can attack this and then start attacking our opponent. Now we have an interesting choice. We could just run out the Reaper, which I think is what we're going to do. Run out the Reaper and go ahead and upgrade it immediately. We know we're going to kill this here, obviously. So why don't we play the Reaper? Well, let's think about this. What can our opponent do to kill me? He can combo out something that'll do 1, 2 damage, 3 damage. So he can do 3 damage, no problem. He could alternatively do 4. He could do 5 damage also, which would be pretty bad for me. But I think we just want to play the Reaper and start trying to kill our opponent. Maybe we should play this a little bit more slowly. But if he has nothing going on, I think we'll be okay. There may be some merit to not playing upgrade there. I don't really know. All right, so now we are getting nearly dead on board. So what could we have done differently here? Well, so first off, we can still gain 2 armor, which will pop us back up above death area. So now notice we're at 7, right? 5 plus 2. Our opponent can do 5, 6. So we're not quite dead. We need to play this. Do I need to play this? Doesn't matter. I don't think we need to play this because if we attack for 6, right? First off, we're clearly going to attack here. If we attack for 6, that'll put our opponent at 5. So, you know what? We do need to play this, I think. So we'll get him down to 4, and there are a lot of cards in our deck that do 4 damage. And we just have to hope he doesn't have anything that does damage. If he has something that does damage, we lose. If he doesn't, we win. Close game. It's interesting because we started off with absolute garbage, but we ended up winning. And like I said, I think this rogue deck is particularly bad against Warrior. Warrior's just faster. And even here, we had the worst start possible, and we still ended up winning. So the other deck I've been playing a lot is Reno Lock. And I think it's quite good, but it's slow. Slow. So given it's very slow, that's not particularly good for grinding out Legend. Once we get Legend, we'll start playing that deck. All right, so here we are against Rogue again, which is a good matchup for me, I think. We have 1 early drop, so we're going to get rid of this guy, actually. Then the question is, do we get rid of the upgrade? Upgrade makes his weapon into a 2 toughness, or 2 power thing. I think we'll just keep the upgrade. Maybe a little bit optimistic, but I think it's fine. Ooh, 2 upgrades. The interesting thing about upgrade is that it's really good to use it late in the game because it gets you an extra 6 damage on your Reaper. sometimes 7 damage on your Reaper because you get an extra charge. But at the same time, early in the game, it can really control the board and just beat your opponent for 3-6 times. So kind of an interesting thing with the Reaper. You don't really know, or at least I don't, I mean, with the upgrade, I'm not exactly sure how to use it optimally. If anyone's here, let me know. Hello, welcome, good evening. It's 2:30 a.m. or 2:20 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm staying up with my son. Just finished a book, Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em. It's like right here, it's a good example of where this upgrade is going to become really good because we're going to kill this guy, which would normally wreak havoc on our faces. Instead, it's going to do nothing. No point in playing this upgrade now, I don't think. There's a little bit of merit in doing it because it'll make it into a 3 power and then maybe a 4 power next turn, which would be quite strong. The thing is, our opponent's almost certainly going to kill this guy. Maybe we should just go ahead and upgrade. You know what? Ugh, this feels bad. You always want to make sure you're using all of your mana in this deck. Notice we have a nice 5 power card, or nice 5 cost card for later in the game. We have a 3 cost for next turn, so our 4th turn may be a spot to use it. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade. It's only really bad if he somehow kills our weapon. And I think our opponent may be playing cards that kills weapons. If he's metagaming intelligently, he's probably found a way to kill weapons because weapons are all over the place. But as you see, he's going to kill our guy, which is going to make this thing way less useful. But that's okay. So notice here, I want to play this thing on this turn, even though it doesn't really do a ton. Actually, this is probably just going to be better because we're going to kill our opponent's weapon. And now, if we draw a 1-cost pirate, this will upgrade our weapon. So that's definitely a reason to play this guy, even though it's not the most mana efficient, because next turn we could have played this thing for 2 and gained 2 health, or 2 armor. But gaining 2 armor is not actually that major of a concern. So our opponent's going to make this thing into a big guy, and we're off to the races. That's fine for me, because that does effectively nothing. Just draws our opponent a card. So he's going to have 1 big dude versus our weapon and whatever we draw. Looks like he has something else, though. Interesting he would play that. I guess it makes sense. I have the card that does 4 damage, which would really screw this thing. All right, so it looks like he's going to get a weapon and kill my guy, most likely. And have a big guy. This is what this often devolves into, is just off to the races versus 1 big guy. And usually your small guys and weapons can win that race. This guy may be a particularly good one for my opponent. We're just ignoring our opponent's creature for the most part. He kind of has to deal with this. I don't know if he has to deal with this guy, the guy I just played, the Berserker, but he certainly needs to do something about it. All right, so he's going to really combo off here and try to kill me ASAP. So he does kill our guy, and we take 10. Probably going to take 11. Oh, he didn't attack me. All right, so what do we do here? Next turn is we'll be able to get in for 10, presumably 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's presume 15. 16, 17 if we play Leroy. So if we play Leroy, we'll get him for 9 now. That'll put our opponent down to 8. 8 is not really where we want him to be because we can't really kill him that easily. We could just play this thing, attack for 3, but that's not particularly good either. I think we're going to lose. So what can we do instead? We can play this thing and then gain armor. Our opponent's going to attack us. We're not going to die, most likely. Maybe we die. We may just be dead. If we play this, how do we win? The question is, how do we win? And I just think we don't. This is going to be one where we just didn't get off to a good enough start. The problem with Leroy is that we may end up dying. So why don't we just play this, get armor. We can't attack our opponent because we lose our weapon. So we'll just say go. We do have a taunt guy in the deck, which hopefully we'll draw. So this is a fine turn for me because our opponent didn't do a whole lot. But he's doing enough, so we're probably going to end up being dead. So he's at 14. We can get in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 5 damage, and we're not going to be able to get in 5 damage. So we're just going to be dead on this one. And that's okay. Actually, let's see. Can we do anything here? We can play Leroy. Kill this. Still dead. Yeah, so we're just dead. That time their big guy got too big. 12 power is pretty big. Hard to beat a 12 power guy. It's interesting because quite often if they play like a 6/6, what's that guy's name? Irwin or whatever it is. If they play a 6/6 guy, often we can deal with a 6/6 guy. But if they play a 12/12 guy, well, we can't really deal with a 12/12 guy. 12/12 will beat us in the race. 6/6 will not beat us in the race. All right, we'll run it back again. Keep playing rogues. I will play rogue all night with this deck. All right, we'd prefer not to have this 2/1. We'd prefer to have a different 1 power guy, but it is what it is. Do we keep 2 of them? First one's good because it gets out patches. Second one's not particularly good against this exact deck, so I think we're going to put back 1 of them. Because he has this weapon. This weapon can just easily deal with our guy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play Small Time Buccaneer. This is a much better draw, by the way. We can play Small Time Buccaneer, get our guy, and then next turn we can play Upgrade and the Deckhand, and that's going to... Oh, well, thank you. Sometimes legendary people will give up to rank 1 people for some reason. I'll take it. We were almost certainly going to do very well in that game. We had a great start that time. Whenever you have a great start, you're typically going to win. Whenever you have a bad start, you may win. If you care about winning in these games, don't give up. Like, I would have given up the first game we streamed. If I had to guess, my equity would have been like 15% or something. And, 15% is a relevant amount. You don't just want to give up. Is this the same guy? Maybe he'll give up again. Hell, we'll take it. Another reasonably good start. The problem with this is that he can kill this guy very easily. But I think we just keep this. And I don't know what to do with this guy against this deck, because he's particularly strong if he doesn't die. Or if your pirates don't die, but I think your pirates often die. So maybe I'm supposed to get rid of them. Obviously, Fiery War Axe is kind of at its worst here. What is he doing? Well, I don't necessarily want to get Legend this way, but I'll take it. Let's just keep queuing up against Sal. If anyone's here observing, let me know. Hello, greetings. Maybe Sal's watching, wants to help me out. Let me get Legend so I can stop playing Pirate and go back to Reno Lock. I want to play Reno. I do not want to play Pirates. I'm not a big fan of player cards, attack your opponent, say go. It's not a very, interactive game in that manner. Granted, Hearthstone is not particularly interactive because, well, Hearthstone's not particularly interactive because you can't do anything in your opponent's turn. All right, so we get the Deckhand. We get a 1/1. Then what happens? We can upgrade, but upgrade's not particularly good right there. And upgrade, this guy's not particularly good if we don't have a weapon. So I think we need to get rid of these 2 and try to get a weapon. Welcome, Original. Hello. This is not a great start, but it's not the worst. Mortal Strike is particularly good. I guess we play the Deckhand first. Although playing this guy first plays around Maelstrom Pulse, which they do have and they will use on turn 1 if we play both of these. So I'm just going to play this thing. It's also a threat that gets killed. It like actually eats a card, whereas the Maelstrom Portal or whatever it's called is not really a card because it gets our opponent a 1/1 and it kills our board. So we're going to play this, play it a little bit slowly. Like right here, this is a great example of why I would much rather play this thing than this thing, because right there you just ate a card, and that's fantastic. A real card, like lightning, whatever the thing's called. Lightning Bolt's a real card that counts, whereas be a little bit different to just run this guy out. So now we have a question. Do we want to run out this 2/1 that's just going to take a charge off this thing? Probably not. So this is definitely a bad start. Notice if we play this, he's just going to kill it. So does that actually accomplish anything? It does 2 damage. We're doing this to do 2 damage and nothing else. I think we just gain armor. Say go. Not ideal at all. It's always tough when they kill 2 of your things. Well, you get 2 guys out. When they kill both of them, it's pretty brutal. All right, so now he is going to beat us down. We may end up just playing this Bloodsail guy by itself, but now we can do this, right? So this is just way better. And this is why we keep the deckhand in our hand. So now do we kill here and attack our opponent? Probably. So if we kill this and attack our opponent, that's good. We can either kill both of his guys, but I don't think we need to kill both of his guys. Although, yeah, we don't have a deck. I'm not a Hearthstone player. I don't know what I'm doing here. We're playing Pirates. I think we are going to kill both guys. And this seems a little bit dicey. Seems dicey to me, at least. But they have the, clearly going to kill here. But they have the card that gives their guys +3/+0, and that's, or +2/+0. That's going to be a beating. At the same time, do we just need to beat him down? Let's just beat him down. Okay, let's do that. But yeah, the deck. The deck is a bunch of pirates thrown together. A bunch of pirates, and then the direct damage cards. We're not playing the pirate that pumps our opponent's stuff. Or the pirate that pumps our pirates. We're not playing that guy. I think that guy's kind of useless. He seems to not do good if your opponent can ever clear the board, and your opponents will be able to clear the board. The direct damage cards are quite strong, I think. Because quite often this deck can get in 18 damage somewhat early, or 20 damage somewhat early. I mean, it's quite common to get down, for your, especially against Shaman, to get down to 12 health or less, and then you can just use 2 of these things and kill your opponent from a bunch of life. All right, so we're probably going to lose this game. Like right here, notice we have maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 damage in hand, which is obviously great. I think we just run out our guys, say go. But like I said, we're almost certainly going to lose this game. And that's okay. You know, sometimes you just don't get good starts. We actually had a good start, but our opponent had stuff to kill all of our stuff. Oh, here's the thing I was talking about. Adjacent minions have +2 attack. And notice if Patches was not in play here, we would save an extra 2 damage in this spot. So he's attacking us, which is... well, I guess we're just dead anyway. So, like I said, if we somehow got in a lot more damage, we would have been fine, but now we're just going to lose. So, can we kill all of his stuff? We can kill this. We can kill this. We will take 9, 10 damage. I guess we just have to do that, right? So, what do we want to do? We want to attack him. Kill this thing. Gain armor. Pass a turn. I imagine our equity here is like 0%. When your equity gets to 0% in this game, you should give up. Because the way the game works, it's kind of like Heads Up No Limit Hold'em, where you play a bunch of games and then you win at 55%, and then from there you just grind it out, right? Notice here we could get in a lot of damage. Getting a lot of damage doesn't matter. So we're going to lose. But yeah, so you want to play as quickly as reasonably possible, because that'll let you play more games. If you play more games, you'll get up to Legend faster. I have only been playing very, very sporadically over the course of the last week or so. Been staying up with my new baby. He's right down here. You can't see him. And somehow I looked up 2 days ago and I was at rank 5, despite not really playing. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess might as well try to get Legend. So I played maybe... Actually, I was editing a book. I had to make a lot of images. I had to remake a lot of images, 200 of them to be exact. And in between doing that, I would play Hearthstone. So we're going to get rid of... I found Heroic Strike to be actually very good versus this deck, but I think we're just going to discard it anyway. We have a nice pirate start. Finley is very good. This is just a good solid start. So I think we want to play the pirate obviously on turn 1. Then what do we do? That's the question. So we can actually play pirate. So we're definitely going to do this now. We're going to do pirate, pirate. And the next turn we're going to play upgrade and Finley. And hopefully that's enough to win the game. These guys are going to be 3/2s next turn. So this would definitely be called a very good start. Previous starts were not so good. This start is very good. Our opponent could still beat this. He could have 2 Maelstrom Portals or something like that. That would be quite good. He could have Lightning Storm. I think that's what it's called. It does 2 to 3 damage to all of our guys. That's obviously great. So he starts off with one portal. That's a good way to beat me. So we're going to kill his guy with our weapon. we want to get the 2 damage card. So now if he has another one of the portals, notice we have effectively lost our entire first board. And this guy is not nearly as good. All right, so I like our spot now. So we can now play the Berserker. Attack and kill this thing. Yeah, let's play the Berserker. Attack and kill this thing. Just attack our opponent. There may be some merit to not attacking with our weapon, but we'll draw weapons in this deck. Usually that's not such an issue. We do miss out on a few damage by playing this. So notice here, right, our opponent's just kind of hanging out. He's doing his best to hang out. All right, so why don't we get all of these guys out? Now, our opponent could kill all of our stuff, and that'd be a real bummer, but notice how much damage we're getting in, right? Now we can just kind of sit back and do 2 damage to our opponents. EBO, welcome. Never played Hearthstone in your life, but I make everything I teach so interesting. Has you wanting to try it yourself? Yeah, it's a fun game. All right, so our opponent's going to clear our board, but notice he's just going to be dead. Not dead, but pretty much dead, because we're going to do 4 damage this turn. We're going to attack for 2. Then we're going to use this thing and kill him eventually. All right, he understands. Oh, we actually have a guy left over. Hearthstone's a fun game. You can play it for completely free. You can also pay to play it. I've probably paid $200 to play this game, so call it what it's worth. Every time a new set comes out, you can buy packs or trade your coins for packs. You see I have some, actually you guys can't see it, but I have coins down here in the bottom right-hand corner, right slightly off the screen, and you can use those coins to buy packs of cards, and that is how you build your collection. So you don't just start with all the cards, but if you play a decent amount, they give you these quests every day. So if you play once every 3 days, or for an hour every 3 days, you'll get a lot of coins pretty quickly. All right, so here's patches. You want to throw patches back because whenever you play a pirate, you get patches out of your deck. So whenever you play a pirate, it effectively puts patches from your deck into play. And that's really why this whole deck works, or it's a really big benefit to this whole deck. So with the first mate, do we want to have an upgrade? We're playing against Shaman. I think we probably do. So let's keep the upgrade. Upgrade's a weird card. I'm not sure exactly what we're supposed to do with it. I don't know if we're supposed to treat it as a late game card or just run it out ASAP every time. I really don't know. Oh, bad beat. All right, so we'll still just... Actually, do we run out Finley? So normally we just play the pirate first every single time, but now, what does that do? We're going to be able to get the damage in anyway. Next turn we can actually play this guy and upgrade it and get an additional damage. So why don't we play... Do we play Finley now or do we wait? Let's play Finley now. He'll be better if our opponent plays pirates. The problem with playing Finley early... Oh my god, these are all the worst. So these are definitely the 3 bad ones. So you get a new hero ability, right? Restore 2 health. Well, we're a beatdown deck. We don't need health. Get a random totem. We don't want random garbage totems hanging around. Or get a dagger. We actually don't want weapons because we have plenty of weapons on our own. So I guess we take the totem. But yeah, this is bad. This is a bad start. Interesting that they could have started off pretty great, where we just had the pirate and a bunch of stuff. All right, so now notice we can kill this guy on turn 1, which is why we led with Finley instead of the first mate. So now we can play this guy, upgrade our weapon, attack this thing for 2, then attack here. So that is a great counter to what our opponent just did. So now we have a 2/3 weapon. So the way weapons work, it starts as a 1/3. Upgrade gives it +1/+1. I don't know where upgrade went, but upgrade gives it +1/+1. And so I really would prefer to be able to play patches and upgrade our weapon. So here, this is always an interesting choice because we have to pick between doing 2 damage to our opponent and killing here, or doing 1 damage here and keeping a 1/1. I think we want to keep a 1/1. Let's keep a 1/1, and then we will get a totem, play patches, and attack our opponent. And now next turn we'll be able to play this guy. Again, this goes back to all games where you have like mana to spend. You want to make sure you use your stuff on curve, which means you want to play 3 drops on turn 3, ideally, not on turn 4. So we're kind of wasting a mana next turn. If you use all of your mana every turn, often you'll just win the game. If you don't use all your mana every turn, well, you're going to be in rough shape. So is there any merit to saving this thing to try to buff this later? So notice we'll be able to play this next turn. Attack for 5, and then next turn if we upgrade we can attack for 6, which is very, very good. The problem is that we don't have enough on board to kill our opponent at the moment, so I think we just want to go as wide as possible and try to beat our opponent down from this point. I mean, our opponent has a 7-7, right? This is what these races often devolve into, is we have a bunch of little guys, our opponent has one big guy. Will that one big guy outrace our little guys? Here, our opponent probably has to attack our stuff unless he can clear our board. All right, so he gets a pirate. He has patches too. Bad beat for him. So he trades his patches for our patches, which is probably smart. All right, so this was a good draw because now we're going to get a big guy. So this guy gets gain attack equal to your weapon, so it gets +3 attack. Obviously, it's better if we have this out, but if we play this, we just lose this thing. We really don't want to lose this thing. So why don't we attack here? We want to attack here so we don't lose life, because we're going to gain, this thing lets us gain our health back. And then we attack here. Play our guy, get a totem, keep attacking our opponent. And we get this guy as well. So this is a pretty nice turn. Our opponent needs to clear our board. If he can clear our board, he's probably going to win. If he can't clear our board, he's probably going to lose. Next turn, we're going to have an interesting choice between doing perhaps nothing or perhaps very little, or just playing this and leaving it out. The problem is our opponent may have cards in his deck that kill weapons. If our opponent kills this weapon, that's just so detrimental. So what I think we're going to do is I think we're going to attack our opponent. We're going to play this thing first, clearly. Play this thing. Then do we attack our opponent or do we do 5 immediately? We'd probably just want to keep this in our hand and just get another totem. Oops. Okay, so you want to attack with this guy first, because if you attack with him second, so read what it says, right? It has +2 attack when you have a weapon equipped. Well, we're about to lose our weapon because we're going to use it. When it goes from 1 to 0, you lose it. So you want to attack here first. Do we ever attack to kill this thing? I think we probably do, actually. He's at 10. Yeah, let's attack here. Let's get a thing. Attack our opponent. Say go. All right. We wanted to kill that guy in case he has the Flame Tongue Totem to do 3 damage to multiple things, but we're in pretty good shape in this one. Like I said, he has to clear our board and then some at this point. He could have stuff to clear our board, but he's at 7, right? Once he's down to 7, he is in bad shape. I'm trying to think if he could even possibly do anything to not lose, and I don't think there's anything he can really do. So notice here we're going to have him just dead on board. He's going to go up to 7 or 9, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in our hand. All right. So this is a very aggressive deck, right? I'm not a big fan of very aggressive decks. I generally like the slower controlling type decks. But like I was saying, in this game, you try to get to Legend. So you start at rank 25 when you first start playing. And then the goal is to get up to rank 1. You have to win something like, I don't even know what the numbers are, maybe 50 games more than your opponents to get to rank 1. So it's kind of like Heads Up Sit and Goes, we have to be up 50 buy-ins. We are up 48 or something like that. So if we get 2 more buy-ins, we will be Legend, which is kind of what people try to achieve over the course of a month. The other day I've just been playing sporadically, and I looked up and I was at rank 5, and rank 5 is where it kind of starts to get serious, because then you don't get little bonuses for winning multiple games in a row and whatnot. And figured, hell, might as well try to get Legend. All right, so we're going to keep all of these 3. You don't want any of your slow stuff early in this game. Just never ever. You want the cheap stuff. You definitely want a pirate. This is probably one of the worst pirates to have, because our opponent has that Maelstrom Portal card that kills or does 1 damage to everything, but whatever, pirate's pirate. This Berserker is an interesting card. Sometimes it just does absolutely nothing, and sometimes it just wrecks your opponent. So whenever a minion takes damage, it gets +1 attack, and often you can just attack a bunch of your opponent's stuff, and then it kills him. All right, so our opponent's going to be off to a pretty nice start. I think we're actually going to play the Fiery War Axe on turn 1. So this is going to work out really nicely for me. So we're going to play the War Axe. So instead of getting the pirate immediately, we're going to kill his thing. Next turn, this guy's going to come down with charge, and we're going to play a 3/3 for 1 mana. So we're going to have a 2/1 charge, which means he can attack the turn he comes in. We're going to have a 3/3 taunt, and we're going to have a 1/1 from out of our deck. So this is going to be quite a strong next turn. Now the question is, do we want to trade our patches for his 1/1, or do we not care? I think we do trade. Now do we attack with our weapon? Presumably he would have played the slime if he had the slime. So I think we keep our weapon. I always make sure you attack with your creatures. I think we keep our weapon because whatever he plays with his mana here, we can attack with our War Axe and then get this Berserker out, which will be a very strong turn. He didn't play anything, so kind of a bummer, but that's fine. So now the question is, do we play the Berserker or do we play out Finley and see what we get? He must kill the Berserker, I think. He can't really play creatures into Berserker. Although maybe I do just play Finley and see what we get and then probably end up putting the Buccaneer down. Let's go ahead and play. Let's play this guy. This may be a little bit greedy. This is a good example, right? Where this guy, this is like a really defensive play. Because 2/4 kind of does nothing on his own. But if our opponent doesn't kill him and he plays a creature instead, we can now buff this guy up very nicely and start really, really beating down our opponent. So I would assume he's going to kill this thing. If he doesn't kill him, that's going to be very nice for me. All right, let's run out our dudes. So let's play this first. See if we get a fireball or whatever it is called. Okay, so we can do this shape shift, which is okay. Not really ideal. May want to get Dagger, silly as that sounds. Normally you don't want Dagger in this deck, but let's get Shapeshift. So this is actually a pretty crappy spot now because I really want to attack this thing and buff my guy, but also I want to play these things. This is a tough one. So I think we just want to run. So the thing is, we can play this and then attack and then have two big guys. And that's going to be quite good. So why don't we do that? Why don't we play this? We'll have two big guys. Our opponent's going to be in a pretty bad spot, I think. Let's do that. I really don't like this spot, but it is what it is. So we have 2, 3, 4s. If he plays anything, they're going to get a lot bigger. Do we use 1, 2, or 3? Like 1, 2, or 0 South Sea Captains. We are using 2. How do we like it? I like it very good. I mean, you just want to get Pirates in play is what it amounts to. Notice here he's killing our stuff, but that's fine. We're buffing up our other guy. We're going to have a 3/3 taunt on board, which is going to be quite good. We can even, if we don't want to do that, we can attack his thing, attack it again, and that's really going to continue buffing up our guy. So right here is where maybe I should have taken the dagger. That would have been way better, obviously. I guess we have to do it this way. And let's just go ahead and put all of our guys out. We could get wrecked doing it this way, but I think we're just kind of all in on this big guy. So notice now we have a 7-power guy and a few little guys. He's going to be able to answer the few little guys. But he has to kill this guy. If he can't kill this guy, he's just going to lose. All right, he just loses. That's good. All right, so now if we get one more star, we're going to be Legend. It'd be very good to be a Legend. I got Legend the first month I played this game. Then I decided it wasn't worth the effort. But here we are again. I guess this is probably the 4th or 5th month I played the game. Maybe 6th month I played the game. Really, it's just a lot of grinding. If you find a deck that's good, and this pirate deck's just good. I mean, I kind of hate it that the obvious dumb aggressive deck is so good, but it is. And I only care about winning. So let's try to win. If we get this, we will become a Legend. And then we can go back to playing fun decks. All right, so we're going to get the captain. This is a nice start. Well, I say it's a nice start. We have one card, right? Like, notice here, if this was something else, like some 2 or 3 mana thing, we would not have a pirate that we could easily keep and get our good dude out. So we'd much prefer to have as many little guys as we can. Also, this deck is just good if you can do something like 18 to 20 damage early, and then you'll just sit back and find the rest of the direct damage cards, which is a big benefit or big upgrade. Which do we want to use? Presumably he would have played the 1 mana weapon if he had it, but I think we still just want to run this guy out. No, maybe we do want to play this one. So let's think about this. We play this one first. He can attack it and do 2 damage. He takes 2, which is fine. Then we can kill his weapon next turn. We have the Swamp Ooze over here. Alternatively, I think that this guy may just be more useful later. So why don't we play this one? This may be wrong. I don't know what the right play is here. Like I said, I'm not good at this. Do we want to play out this guy immediately? Maybe we do. Do we really care? Do we want to do this? I guess we do. If we get a weapon card, it's going to be pretty sweet. The issue here is I'd really love to play one of these on turn 3 and the other one on turn 4. And we have a nice turn 2 play. We don't have a turn 3 play. So I think we're going to not run our little guy out. This may be wrong. Is it necessary to keep backup minions or go pure face? It's necessary to keep backup minions when you can, when it's easy to do, when it's free to do. But right here, it's just not free to do. All right, so this is bad for me because now our opponent's going to have a guy and we're not going to have a guy. And we have no weapons. So not a good start at all. Maybe we screwed up. Notice here, if I had this guy in play, we can now attack and kill this thing, and we'd have a 1-1 on the 1-1 on the board. And then we could, well, we wouldn't do anything on this turn, but now we're going to be a little bit behind. So playing a little bit conservatively there may cost me. First time here, welcome. How's it going? It's going well. We're playing Hearthstone for fun. Normally we play poker, but today we're playing Hearthstone. We're trying to get to Legend. We are 1 game away, but I don't think it's going to be this game. I think we're going to lose. So now we're going to kill his weapons. That's at least good. Alternatively, we could play this guy and just start bashing him. But I think we just want to kill his weapon. That gets us up on board. Well, at least okay on board, not necessarily up. Then we can save our coin for something later. I think we do want to kill his guy. Do we want to play a 2-3 that does nothing? Maybe. I think we do, actually. Yeah, let's play the 2-3. Normally you don't want to play this guy as a 2-3 because you want to get his buff. I don't know. Interesting spot. We really want to make sure we use our mana on the next few turns. That's very, very important. What is your ad? I have no clue. My name on here is J Cardshark, but I don't know how to add me. All right, so now we can play the 4-3 and just start attacking our opponent most likely. We don't want to play this guy because the taunt really doesn't do a whole lot. All right, we have the War Axe, which is nice. I think we'd still just play the charge guy and attack our opponent. Next turn, we can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd be nice to have the coin, but we don't have the coin. Our opponent's kind of starting to run low-ish on cards, which is nice. I mean, he has 4, which is clearly not nothing, but click the friends list. The ID is at the top. J Cardshark number 1600. That's me. All right, so if he can't kill our guy, we're going to start getting the beat down on. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right, so now we're going to play this, get our guy, kill his thing, attack him. Say go. All right, so this is looking pretty nice at this point. Way nicer than it was just a second ago. If he can't kill our board, I think we may just win. Just winning would be great. Given we are 1 game from Legend, if we win this, we just become a Legend. Then we can go back to playing decks that draw cards. All right, well, we like to see this. We don't like to see that. That's not what we wanted to see. We wanted any totem besides this one. And he's going to wreck me. We really need this to do 3 and not 4. If it does 4, we're probably going to lose. If it does 3, we're at least live. So like right here, it just has to take 5 to the face, right? And go to 12. And that is fantastic. So we may just win this, despite not being in great shape. Ooh, that's a good draw. All right. Notice sequencing in that spot is very important. Because we wanted to play this guy first. Because then we use this to buff our creature. Or to buff our weapon. And then this guy gets 1 extra power because the weapon's now 1 bigger. So Pink Bunny, hello, welcome. I cannot type right now because I'm playing Hearthstone. typing in Hearthstone. We win. We did it. We made legend. Congratulations. There you go.